Last one here from this game. Harden floater on Duncan. And this is really going to be the kind of like story of this chess match when these two teams go to this lineup. Crosses over, gets back to his left hand, hits the floater. But that's the best that you can do. The best that Mitchell and Harden were able to get down the stretch was tough contested floaters and layups over contests from Jalen Duren. They weren't able to get any offensive rebounds off of them because of the gang rebounding from the Pistons. And on the other end of the floor, it was dunk for Duren, dunk for Duren, dunk for Duren, easy ISO jumper for Cade, easy pull-up jumper for Dennis Jenkins, easy ISO floater for Tobias Harris. And like on the Tobias Harris one, like he had a lob to Duren if he wanted it to. Like these are just better shots. And so that's what concerns me for Cleveland down the stretch of the series is the ability that Detroit has to go to that lineup. All right, moving on to Wolves Spurs. We're going to go fewer from the next couple of games. An example of how the 5 outlook just countered the rim protection from Victor Wembanyama. So Wembanyama's on Jaden McDaniels. We're going to get a switch between him and Harrison Barnes on this cut through. And you're going to see this a lot from the Spurs. Whenever there's any sort of interchange where the cornerman goes up and a new guy takes the corner, they're almost always going to switch Wemby onto the corner. Why? Because that's where they feel like he can do his most damage as a rim protector when they keep him as the low man as much as possible. But as a result, there's a closeout that forms from that switch. Harrison Barnes, he's on Nas. Now he's not. So now Jaden gets to drive the closeout, turns the corner on Harrison. That forces Wemby to help, which is what he wants to do. That's why he's on the corner, right? But your center is a knockdown shooter. Wide open 3 for Naz Reid. Wemby can't get out there. Easy 3. Same sort of thing here with Julius Randle. As Ant goes into his ISO attack here on Champagny, watch Randle. Wemby wants to help. Randle clears up top. When Randle clears up top, Wemby goes up to the nail. Ant turns the corner. By the time Wemby actually turns to go, Ant's already off the ground. Easy work. That 5-out spacing group kind of neutralized Wemby as a spacer. Now, I'd argue Wemby needs to kind of, especially on Julius and Jaden, kind of refuse the switches. Don't get switched onto Nas. Try to stay on Jaden or Julius and force those guys to shoot. Julius can shoot it, though. I think Jaden in particular is the guy he needs to guard, and he needs to try to not switch that matchup whenever possible. Case in point, Julius is going to get a 3 here. So we saw the same exact switch. Watch how Wemby is on Jaden, but he points down to Champagny to be like, I'm going to get the corner, so they switch. Which, like, I understand, but I'd almost rather just have Julian stay on Nas and have Wemby sink down and just force them to literally just throw the ball to Jaden here and either shoot a 3 or drive, because Jaden hasn't shot the 3 well at all in this postseason run. Ant drives, he draws 2. And again, the spacing, because Wemby is terrified of getting out there to, there's a little bit of a defensive 3 he's fighting there too. But because he's worried about Naz Reid in the corner, he can't really commit. So they end up helping with 2 guards. Julius Randle's wide open, knocks down the 3. Now, typically when we think of Gortat screens, and Gortat screens are when you see your big kind of like post up the big or seal the big so that he can't protect the rim. Typically we see it out of ball screens, but this is an example of it just out of a dive. So they get the switch, right? So now Ant is switched on to Keldon Johnson. Watch Julius. He clears out. He just goes, I'm not even matched up with Wemby, but there's Wemby. I'm just going to post him up. Seals him. Takes him out of the lane. Now Wemby has no shot to protect the rim. Easy layup for Ant. This I thought was a tactical mistake down the stretch. Like they have Devin Vassell matched up on Jaden McDaniels and they have Wemby on Terrence Shannon. And one of the ways that they countered that is, again, he's guarding Terrence Shannon. All Terrence has to do is beat Wemby somehow and there's nobody at the rim, right? So putting him in action was a great way to get Wemby caught up on screens. They have Julius screen Wemby here. Watch as he runs into all this traffic. There's nobody behind him. Easy layup. And again, Keldon's a decent athlete, but TJ Shannon might be the best athlete on the floor, and he's able to get right around him for a layup. It also caused what I would call like a rebounding cross match. So I clipped this one on the offensive rebound, which I probably shouldn't have, so you guys missed it. But on this possession, Wemby's guarding TJ Shannon. And as he clears out, Devin Vassell is on Naz Reid, but Wemby's thinking TJ. He's not thinking Naz. So Naz sinks behind him. And like, look, when Wemby actually turns, as soon as he turns, Naz has already passed him. If he's matched up on Naz that whole possession, he's going to have an idea of the fact that he's got to keep him off the glass. But because he's matched up on TJ Shannon, it's a rebounding cross match. And so he's not even thinking about Naz. And so Naz is able to sink behind him. And again, that would have been a little bit easier for me to show you if I'd have got the whole possession, but I clipped just the offensive rebound. So that's my fault. But on that possession, Wemby guarding TJ, don't like that matchup because of the inverted action and because of the fact that it caused a rebounding cross match, which ended up leading to an offensive rebound for Naz. So this was a fascinating one where as TJ's looking to drive, Julius is trying to Gortat Wemby, but Keldon's like holding him off. And so he ends up taking both of them out, basically. But Wemby gets just enough of a runway that he's able to still block it. But in the process, all of this congestion causes everybody to hit the ground. So now there's 3 bodies on the ground, and Jaden McDaniels is able to easily clean it up and get in for the offensive rebound in the kick out to Mike Conley. Biggest play of the game. This is another example of why like it's good for them to keep attacking Wemby, even if he's going to block some shots, because if he blocks the shot and the Spurs don't secure the rebound off of the block, it just turns into essentially an offensive rebound with the rim protector kind of out of the picture temporarily. Last 2 possessions of the game that I want to hit. This is one of the biggest advantages for Minnesota in this matchup. They just have more dudes that, regardless of rim protection, can get to a spot short range and knock down an easy shot over the top. The guards are going to be able to do that, but usually without a size advantage or strength advantage. That's the difference with Minnesota. They have size and strength to get to their short range scoring. Lastly, another Gortat screen, this time from Rudy Gobert. Julius drives on Devin Vassell. Watch Rudy Gobert get into Wemby's body as soon as the drive happens. Look at how he just gets into his body and just fights him. That basically glues Wemby to the ground so that he can't get up and block that shot. That's why Wemby didn't jump there. He didn't jump because Gobert is literally forcing him to end up in basically a physical positioning battle underneath the basket.